The hardest pill to swallow with the truck campers is the jacks. When you have to repair these, fix them, replace them. Uh, there's my artwork. But it is the most expensive part. Um, what I've found is basically that you just have to look at the jacks like it's your fifth wheel hitch. If you need to replace them, you're going to be dropping close to 3 grand. So this back one here, these two back ones are not in the greatest shape. My front ones are good. They have a lot of, you know, movement with them. They move fairly quick. These ones are very slow, and these ones kind of go at different rates. This back one here is the worst. Uh, that one, even the motor moves when you turn that on, and so just running into some issues with it, and of course you don't want to completely, have these things break and leave you in a situation where you can't get it on or off the truck and this and that and the other. So I've been limping along with this setup. The back legs were like this when I got it. In the beginning, I just didn't pay too much attention to it because I wanted to get it on the truck and get out of town. But as time goes on, I'm really starting to notice how they're a little bit worse. Now, I did some research. There are some couple videos out there on YouTube. And I spoke with the previous owner, and that he's kind of like engineerish type of guy, and people that have truck campers, they get all into them and stuff like that. And he did say that he's had each jack apart, the legs, the motors, rebuilt a couple of the motors. You can take the legs apart to service them and, clean them out and grease them, because you have to make sure dirt's not getting on that, too much dirt's getting on the bottom of that foot jack and getting sucked up in the housing there. So anyway, it's looking like I'm going to have to pretty much, I think, replace all four legs. The cost of one leg and one motor is something like, it's teetering up about $1,200. If I bought all four, it'd be like 2,700. So it's like you're almost stupid to like not just get the whole set. And then at this point, I figure, well, it's an older camper, so if I just get the set of four and bite the bullet, then I'll have like two good backups, because my front two legs are in good shape. So that's one thing that I'm considering right now. But all the problems occurred when I called HappiJac Lippert components, because they own HappiJac's, and I'm on the phone with them, and we're doing all this troubleshooting, and we open up a case, and all this stuff, and then they say, we'll have to do phone support, and I'll have to do all these things, and while I'm on the phone with them, and check the voltage of each jack, and I would have to run, hook a voltage meter up to the motherboard, and run the jack up and down, and do all four so they can check, and and they want to differentiate and say, okay, yes, it's a bad motor, or if it's not, then we know it's the leg, and all these things. And so we get through talking about that, and I said, it's okay, so can you give me an idea, just to, like, on prices, for like a motor, this, that, the other, and is it better to get it through you guys, or should I just go on one of these websites and get it, like e-trailer or something like that? And then they just said, oh well, um, like, you wouldn't be able to get a motor. And I'm like, what do you mean? You want me to do all these things to see if it's a bad motor? So, like, what are we talking about here? And this, we don't have the motors. And I'm like, they're discontinued. So I'm like, so you want me to do all these things to then, like, and we just got done talking about all this stuff to do. And then at the very last minute, all of a sudden you don't have the motor. You want to see if it's bad, but you don't have the motor, the replacement. And so they, I guess, had discontinued them a while back. They lost a vendor, like they went out of business or something, that was making these motors. They don't have them, but then they said that, they did find a new vendor to make them, and it's going to be another month or so until, they're going to get released. And me having to wait a little bit of time it's not the issue, but it's just like, well, what are we doing here? And so, but I can wait. There's other options if I really had to, like if it actually did break. I'm feeling though that getting the direct replacements is the easiest way to go, because then I don't have to change, my circuit board. I don't have to change my remote. I can just unbolt 4 legs, bolt 4 new legs and motors on. It would be like a kit all put together, I guess. That's what I'm looking at. But yeah, I mean, it is pretty pricey. I disagree a little bit on their whole, like if you buy 1 or 2 legs, it's like only, $300 more if you just buy all 4. I get it. They want to sell all 4. I don't mind having the extra pieces for backup, but still. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for these new ones to be re-released and then go from there. I mean, I know I can limp these jacks along for a little while. It's, I don't think it's going to be a major thing, but yeah, I'm kind of stuck, like waiting for them though. And they are switching to a new vendor, and it's like I would probably be one of the first people trying this new motor out, and what if things go wrong with them? And HappiJac's, I think, is only like a 1-year warranty. It's not a very good warranty. So, but yeah, that's kind of, I guess, the problems you can run into with a truck camper and it's specialized equipment. Other than that, everything else is, it's just an RV, it's just a camper, all your standard components. But yeah, so the jacks are one thing to look out for and be aware of. I do feel that I could maybe get the rear ones off and I could take them apart and check them out and see. I could see for myself. But it's a 2007 model, so at the end of the day, the jacks are, whatever they are, 16 years old. The back 2 ones are kind of iffy, and so it's like, in my head, I'm just kind of saying, well, why not just get all 4? And they're all going to be, brand new. They should all hopefully, go up and down the same. They shouldn't be different speeds, that kind of thing. So, we'll see how all that works out. But yeah, so I'm just kind of stuck waiting for the release, so we'll see what happens and go from there. So maybe at some point, in the future here, I'll have some new legs and get them hooked up. And just real quick, just some other things that working on. I got my backsplash done. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but yeah, I just got some large format tile from Depot. Got one on the side, one on this side. And we're just working on some like storage things. So First off, like I have all this stuff kind of mounted up here on the stove. Currently, we are doing just more like weekend type trips with her job and kind of the way the vacation works. Um, it won't really be till next year where we can get like have more time off to do just like longer trips or week long trips. So because of that, and because sometimes Lexi's with us and we need the extra seating in the truck, I have this set up just to carry like the extra things. And so I strap these chairs. I have a bungee there, and then that's just a grill, a 2 burner stove, and like our like little like camp table type of thing. And those these all strap in pretty nice. They stay put. And so this is how we kind of load it for just the standard weekend trip. Because a lot of times we end up not using the stovetop. So that's kind of what we do for that. But we're also in the process of teetering around with the storage for now, like we would do longer trips. And so when I got this camper, Bill did have like a shelf here, and his dog bed for their dog was underneath, but they had the shelf, and that allowed them to stack Tupperware on the top there because they never put the bed down or the table down for a bed. And so then the Tupperware storage was for like extra food and stuff, like if they did a 2-week trip, to the Outer Banks or something. And so they would have some extra Tupperware, to put dry food in, and this and that and the other, any extra stuff. So this is what we currently have. We usually need some kind of a wash basket so that we're not stuffing laundry like in the the little nooks and crannies, and then it just gets to be too much. So we have a wash basket that fits in there nice, and then right beside it we have this other Tupperware container. Down there's the plug, and then up top, on top of the bench there, I have a little 400-watt inverter for charging batteries, and then like a little extension pigtail extension cord. So that's what we're playing around with. When we get on to doing some longer trips here, that we could be having some additional storage where, say, we're not putting the table down. The other thing I would be doing for the longer trips would be like this stuff. The seat in my truck behind the driver's seat would be like your 60% bench seat, and that I would take that out and remove it and put a platform in the back of the truck and like a storage cubby, so that we could have all these things in the truck and out of the way, the grills, the chairs, and then also like our additional buckets, some of the, like the vacuum and stuff like that. So currently we just have, when we're traveling, we have the 2 buckets in here with the blower, which does a really nice job of getting the stuff out of there. And then we just carry the vacuum. Usually when we stop, I just pull the vacuum out. When we're staying somewhere, it just goes like under the table, that kind of thing. So, but for doing the longer trips and then making a little bit more storage in the pickup truck itself would allow me to get some of the things out of the camper. And this step system here is great. Bill made this. This came with the camper. Has a handle kind of cut in on each side. It has these little like screen door locks, and that's all you need. This thing here, that little step piece on the side is useless. It's like loose, and but this step thing works great. You just make this bottom step even with that carpet, and then you can sit You can sit your shoes in there or whatever. Like a lot of times we'll put shoes in underneath there if we're stopped for a couple days, and then down on the, or put shoes down here. We've also put like drinks, like, case of water, slide it down in underneath there. There's different things you can do. So yeah, this is just made out of 2 pieces of stair tread, and then he just cut the brackets out to fit. If I ever get a new Arctic Fox or anything like that, I'll actually probably take that with me. But it works great for getting up in the bed. I mean, you can sit on the edge of the bed and your feet just come right down to that step there. It makes it a much better transition. You can sit there. It's a nice little seat too. So yeah, definitely works out good. But so anyway, I mean, that's just some of the small things we're working on, just some storage options. I'm just trying to maximize things without having to like tear stuff apart and rebuild stuff in the camper. I don't have time for that. So, but yeah, that's where we're at. The water pump's working good. The faucet's working good. The things I replaced are all like working out pretty nice. So no problems there. Things that need to be done, and glad I got it done. So yeah, that's where we're at. And yeah, like I said, just waiting on them motors from good old HappiJac's to come out in the market. So we'll see what happens.